Hey guys, BPRL Goblin here, and welcome to the BPRL Season 3.5 Championship on F1 2030. We return to this game after a Season 3 on 2014, which divided many people's opinions, but in the end served up some great racing and a really close championship. So starting my qualifying lap here, using all of the track just before the line to get as much top speed as I could, and braking down just before the 150 meter board into turn 1. And as you can see, I've really made a pig's ear of it. I've missed the second apex massively by locking up. So now coming through Curva Grande, just accelerating through the gears as much as you can. 6th gear, 195 miles an hour up to 7th, and braking just after the bridge down, clipping the first apex nicely, and then the second one slightly wide onto the exit curve. But I've got away with that, setting a 28.666 through sector 1. So we've just gone through the first lesson there using all the track on the exit, now braking at the 50 meter board down to 3rd gear for the second, running even wider, just dipping the front left on the gravel, as now we've opened the DRS heading down towards the Variante Ascari chicane. There's a car ahead of us, but that won't affect us at all as we come towards the braking zone. Braking at the 100 meter board as we go through the first apex, now the second, and taking a nice line through the third apex. It's all about maximising top speed now towards the Parabolica curve. Up in 6th gear, shifting up to 7th, around 200 miles an hour, braking just before the 50 meter board down into 3rd gear, 127 miles an hour minimum. Now 4th gear, using all the curves up to 5th gear. Now we're going to take a shorter line as possible, all the way on the right, to cross the line and set a 122.205 on prime tyres, 3rd place currently. Now let's get to the race. So here we are on the grid for Italian Grand Prix. Eventually I line up 5th with my teammate Josh in 6th, so starting on the prime tyres. Obviously I know I'm going to get a slightly slower getaway than everyone else, as the lights have gone out. I'm ducking in behind Sean up into Rich Mix to try and get a slipstream bound into turn 1, but it looks like Josh has already jumped me on my outside. We're going 3 wide with Sean, and I've been absolutely shafted from behind. Sinan's gone, Tobin, Reese, I've no idea. As Sinan comes back onto the track, my car spun slightly, and you can see all hell has broken loose. That's JD gone past, and I'm down into 11th place with Jay just behind. That's definitely not the start I'd have wanted, especially for the first race in the season, trying to make an impression. And immediately, I've got to just try and make my way through the field as much as I can. Anyway, skipping slightly later on into the lap, into the second Lesmo, Wayne's gone really wide onto the gravel, so we'll take that position. And also, Jordan's going really slow, so I just dived past him too. Had to swerve quite far to the right to avoid him there, so we're already up into 9th place on the first lap, so making some good progress here. But as you can see on lap 2, Jordan absolutely dive bombing the hell out of us into that corner of the Della Roger chicane there, and now Tobin's taking advantage of my slow exit. He's gone right at my inside, I've gone wide, and I've spun in. Can I keep it out of the barrier? Just about. I think I managed to shift down into reverse gear just in time, just to keep my car out of the barrier and avoid losing the front wing and falling even further behind. So anyway, further on lap 2, I think this is Tobin. I think Tobin believed that he may have caused that collision, which spun me into the barrier, but I didn't really think that was true, so I was planning to let him back through. But I'd already gone wide. As you can see, Jordan's he had another incident there. He spun, and me and Tobin have had to dart to the right to avoid his admittedly ghosted car. But anyway, I'm using some curves now up into 7th gear in Tobin's slipstream. It looks like I'm going to try and make him move into turn 1 as going back down into lean mix. Braking maybe just a bit later than him, going up his inside, and we've made contact, but it looks like I don't think there was any major kind of damage involved there. So anyway, he's got back in front, and I'll use the Rich Mix once again and the curves to try and get another great run through the Curva Grande and try and get him into the Della Roger chicane on lap 3. Braking down into the Della Roger chicane then, I've tried to hold it around his outside, but I've gone wide, and as you can see, to be honest, that move was never really going to be on. I was always going to be slowed down on the exit. But what's happened here? Tobin's gone really wide through Parabolica, and he's just lost his car. He's gone onto the gravel, and no complaints from me. I'll take that position, as unfortunately Jordan's lost connection to the session, which is a shame for him in his first BPRL race. But anyway, I'll take both of those positions, as now I think in the background you can see Tobin pulling up. I think he's about to retire. Obviously he'd been caught up majorly in the first corner collision and further kind of incidents like I have, so not really surprising. So on to lap 5 here. What are we seeing here? Oh, Brandon's just spun off. I think obviously just out of the Della Roger chicane he's put the power down way too furiously, and his car's just gone spinning round. So anyway, that's a shame for him. I don't think there was too much damage. So now, as you can see, Reese is on our tail. I think he's already pitted, as he was an option runner and starting on the option tyres. I still haven't pitted yet because I'm on the primed. Going through the Della Roger chicane, and I've completely lost the back end. That's let Reese through so easily. That I mean, he's probably going to be quite glad that I haven't put up much more of a fight than that, because at this point he was really fighting with Sinan and Josh. As you can see, on lap 8, later in on the lap in Parabolica, I've just gone really wide just because of the lack of grip on my tyres, and Sinan's taken the position, and he'll have DRS. However, I'm going to try and use all my curves, because I'm not giving up this position yet, especially with my teammate Josh just behind. The thinking right now is, can I hold Sinan up as much as possible to try and bring Josh back into play? So you can see, Sinan's got slightly deep there, and I've crossed the line beautifully, especially for a driver with really, really worn prime tyres. So anyway, Sinan's got a slightly better run, but I'm going to use a lot of curves as I did earlier on through the traction zone, and we're holding it side by side, just like Alonso and Vettel, apart from we can do it cleanly. As we come down into the Della Roger chicane, I've taken the apex and the second one, leaving him just enough space on the inside to go through. As once again we're going side by side into the first Lesmo corner. Side by side once again, he's got slightly ahead, but I'm going to use some of the exit curb to keep some top speed and break at the 50 metre ball once again, going around his outside, and we've held it through. And I have to say, and as you can see in the background, Josh has really caught up to Sinan there, so my job as teammate, if you like, has really works out. But I have to say, props to Sinan, that was some really fun racing, especially seeing as it's his first ever race in this our league, I believe. So, I mean, yep, props to him yet again. He's proving that he could be a really clean, consistent racer, and that was some really good driving. So anyway, as you can see through the background in my rear mirrors, Josh has overtaken Sinan. So I'm just going to let Josh through, and Sinan's got through as well. So they're both going to have DRS, and once again, I'm going to be the only driver without DRS. So they're going side. They're having their own little battle down the straight side by side, and I'm slowly gaining on them. But I'm just going to back out because I don't really want to get caught in that collision at all, especially with worn tyres. So Sinan's taken that position back from Josh. I think Josh might be in a position to come back into the Della Roger chicane. So anyway, we won't quite see that move, and I can tell you that Josh didn't quite get past Sinan, but he's still really close on his tail. So now on lap 11, I think this is the lap that I finally decided to get rid of these prime tyres and go on to a fresh new set of options for my first of my 2 stops. So as you can see there, the engineers have put on and the pit crew have put on the option tyres there. I'm hoping to set some really clean lap times, as I've come out roughly 10 seconds behind JD in the second Williams. And as you can see, like, this was my first race on F1 2013 since season 2 without ABS, so like I mean there's no excuse, but I completely forgot to brake there and I've just completely cut the corner, but never mind. And as you can see, Jake Humphries has destroyed his vehicle. I think what happened there, he did it just here, as you'll see. I'm going to gain the place from him. I think he made a really late call to dive into the pits and just didn't turn enough and smashed his car onto the pit wall. So anyway, it's a great shame for him. And now Sean has pitted, so he's behind me, and the safety car has come out over a lap. I've never seen that before. Over a lap after the collision actually occurred, the safety car has finally decided to come out. Race controller finally said enough is enough, we'll get the safety car out, despite there not seemingly being any debris on the track at all. So Bert Mylander's definitely going to be getting some miles as I make there, or do a Jake and make a very late decision to come into the pits. So once again, I've put the prime tyres on with only be 10 laps to go in, actually, sorry, 11 laps to go in this race. So I'm thinking, prime tyres, I did 11 laps on my first stint, so I'll easily be able to get those to the end, barring any severe problems, of course. And of course, since the field is really spread out with, I think, 1 or 2 lap runners and only 10 people remaining, that's a free pit stop. I've pitted in 5th and come out in 5th place, behind JD, but ahead, keeping my place ahead of Sean. So as you can see, the safety car is no longer on track, so we are racing again. And I can see Justin has a lapped car, he has Jay in front of him. So I'm going to try and capitalise on this and use all my curves coming past, and a lot of curves over the line, so a double whammy of curves there, and I've just streaked past Justin as Jay has pulled off to the side. Yeah, I've absolutely mugged him, and I think Justin was a little bit annoyed with the back marker, but understandably Jay doing all he could to get out of the way, and now I'm in 3rd place behind my teammate Josh, so that's worked out really well, especially considering all my escapades at the start of the race. So now on to lap 22, what are we seeing here? Sinan's gone off at the Della Roger chicane on the exit, so me and Sean have both taken evasive action to go round him, and now the Ferraris are now 2nd and 3rd, after being, make that 1st and 2nd, sorry. I didn't realise Reese had pitted. So anyway, the situation was that Reese had pitted onto another set of option tyres because I don't think, whatever tyres he was on at the time, I don't think he felt he could take them to the end. So anyway, with 3 laps to go, Josh is, I can tell you now, he went for option tyres during the safety car, kind of safety car interlude. So his tyres are even worse condition than mine. So I was, at the moment, I was playing second fiddle to Josh to try and get him the win and get Ferrari 1-2 in front of our famous Tifosi and Monza. But anyway, there you can see there's carnage at the Della Road chicane as Sinan's gone deep trying to overtake me, and Sean's taken both of us, but I'm going to go neck and neck, side by side with Sean in the second Lesmo, and Sean's just gone slightly wide under the wheel-to-wheel contact, and Reese has got back through into third place, and I'll be surely easy picking for him coming down the straight. Yep, that's right, as Sean's dropped down into 5th place, Reese has taken me, sorry, not Sean, Reese has taken me up into 2nd. As you can see, the traction and grip he's got through the Ascari chicane is just unreal, and I'm just hoping that Josh has enough pace. But as you can see in front, Reese and Josh are side by side going into the Parabolica. Looks like Josh has gone slightly deep, so Reese is going to take the advantage, but Josh now will be able to dive back into a slipstream, probably putting it up into Rich Mix, and he'll be saying, no, I've led this race since the safety car, and I am not giving up this race very easily. As you can see, even I'm catching up onto Josh. In lean mix though, up into 214 miles an hour, braking. I wasn't about to take Josh's position anytime soon. As you can see, I just didn't brake enough, and trying to avoid a lock-up, I've just gone across the curb. And as you can see now, Sinan and Sean are going to have a fantastic run on me. As we go through Curva Grande, it looks like Sinan's taken the advantage in this one, but we're still side by side, as we have been so many times coming down here. As we're braking now into the Della Road chicane, I've gone way too deep, locked up. Sinan's gone through, and Sean has gone through, and I've lit up my rear tyres, and I've gone for a little half spin, and that is game over in terms of any sort of podium charge for me. And now onto the final lap through the Ascari chicane. The second apex of Ascari has absolutely spat me out. My tyres are absolutely dead. I just can't seem to drive this track on the final lap at all, as Justin has taken 5th place. And if you would cast your eyes to the mini-map, Josh, Sean, Sinan and Reese are all going to cross the line nose to tail. I have no idea who's going to win. And in the end, it looks like Sean has taken the win. I wanna be annoyed, but to be fair, it was a fantastic drive from him. But unfortunately for Sean, Josh and Sinan's penalties were both removed, so Josh finishes 1st, Sean 2nd, with Sinan 3rd, Reese 4th, Justin 5th, and myself in 6th. If you've enjoyed this video, please drop a like and comment anything you want, any criticism or constructive criticism indeed, good or bad, would help me greatly. And of course, if you're new and you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I've been BPRL Goblin, and thank you very much for watching.